was just really proud of the defensive performance tonight. I mean, 25 points, 2 points in that second quarter. I thought we were at a really high level. Even the 7 points in the third, we got in the bonus midway through that quarter, and I think 4 of those 7 were free throws. So the way that we were playing was at a high level, and I thought it carried through the whole roster. No matter who was in the game, they were defending at a high level. Tried to make things difficult as we could for Lehigh, and tried to make them take challenge shots. And so I'm just really, really impressed by the group and the defensive performance.
All right, questions for the student athletes front row?
Could I get a Kleenex? Does anyone have a Kleenex? Nobody have one?
They're on it in the back. Right here, second, right here. Thank you.
Royal Howell, the Juice Network. Ladies, this question is for both of you. This is the first time all season Lehigh's been held to single-digit quarters throughout the entire game, 30 turnovers to 3 assists, another season low. What was just your overall assessment of just your team defense for you ladies? You all haven't played since March 9th. Was there any type of concern about having any type of rust going into this matchup, and what's your overall assessment?
I think for us, we've done an excellent job in terms of building our culture around understanding that our defensive standard never drops. So although you're right, we haven't played till March 9th, we know what we need to go and put out on that floor defensively every night.
I mean, she answered it perfectly. I feel like this is what we strive to do. Every single practice, that's, we focus on everything, but defense especially, running all these different drills. So it paid off, and it's nice that kind of transitioned from the ACC tournament, even though it's been, a few weeks.
More questions from the room? Front row?
Yeah, Mitch Northam, SB Nation. This is a kind of a record book game. Lehigh's, that's the second fewest points scored in an NCAA tournament game. I guess, what does that say about how locked in y'all were to the defensive game plan?
I mean, this is March. It doesn't matter who your opponent is. You address each and every one of them with the same intensity. So I think for us, understanding this is our first March Madness game and no one wants to go home, so we're going to bring it all we've got.
More questions from the room? Just raise your hand if you have a question. Let's go second row right here.
Shelby Swanson with the News and Observer. Toby, I just wanted to ask you about just the growth that you've seen from your teammate right to the right of you there. Been on fire since specifically December and coming off the bench, but still able to lead the team in scoring. What's impressed you most about what she's been able to do since December?
I mean, I could talk for days about Lucci. I love her so much. On and off the court, we have a really good connection. So I'm really proud of the progress that she's made. I feel like, I knew that she could do the things that she's doing right now. This is not a surprise to me, but she's always been just a spark, like her personality off the court, but then also on the court as well. And this is what our team has been needing. So her coming off, having so many points, just getting back on defense, she's an all-around player. So it's really helpful for our team.
Again, front row.
Yeah, Mitch Northam, SB Nation. I don't want to mispronounce her name, but number 7, getting into the game in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And hitting those 2 3-pointers, the first of her career. And I saw the bench go wild. For your team, what kind of moment was that, just seeing her succeed in that way?
Coach actually just gave us a little bit of a lesson in the locker room recently, just kind of giving a testament to Lou in terms of always be ready when your number is called. And tonight she really showed that. She doesn't always get in many of the games, but regardless, when coach calls her name and when she gets in the game, she produces, whether it's setting up her teammates or knocking down some shots for herself.
It's just a reminder to those on Zoom, if you would like to ask a question, just use the raise hand function in the room. Any other questions for the student athletes? Shelby.
Yeah, for Alucci or Toby, just going back to, I don't know if it was the first or the second 3 there, but do you guys know whose towel made its way onto the court?
No.
I don't. Yeah, no, we don't.
Unfortunately.
Could be anyone.
Front row. Hand across, please. Thank you.
Royal Howell, the Juice Network. Ladies, it seems like every time a player took a charge, everybody was smiling, high-fiving. Just talk about that, that camaraderie. It's almost like a reflection of your coach, because as soon as it happened, coach is smiling. Coach Lawson barely ever smiles at all. So just seeing that type of transition, putting your body on the line, putting your body on the line, what does that mean?
She smiles a lot, you know,
She does.
behind closed doors.
Behind
Not as
closed
much on the
doors.
court, but she smiles. So I got you. I'll back you up.
You do.
But you
that
know,
smile, though.
we put an emphasis on that. So taking charges, that's something that our team focuses on a lot, and I think that you know every game that's definitely a big part of our game for us. Being able to do that and then transition onto the offensive side, yeah, it's really important.
More questions from the room for the student athletes?
Don't worry.
Any other questions? Second row.
Marissa Sisker, Hoop Stats. Toby, Oregon has a pretty good amount of size. You didn't really have to deal with that as much tonight. I know Felipe Kie, probably pronounced the wrong, is 6'8". Just kind of going back, what are you looking for in that scout with some players that are even taller than you by a decent chunk?
Yeah, we just haven't. They hadn't seen Oregon yet, so they don't. We haven't watched. You know, our philosophy is like just focus on the team that's next. So they haven't seen any film on Oregon. They don't know any of Oregon's sets or actions. They don't have a familiarity with that.
Any other questions from the room or Zoom? If none, the student athletes, you're welcome to go. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. I'll take this water with me.
All right, questions for Coach. Front row.
Royal Howell, the Juice Network. Coach, before you went into this matchup, I know earlier, I think it was Sunday when the brackets were released, you were focused on just getting to this matchup, studying film, getting your players ready for this time and moment. Was there any type of concern about, you know, having that rust from March 9th ACC championship, going into 2 weeks layoff, and then going into this matchup? Was there any type of concern about having a little rust or layover?
I think there's always a concern that you'll have an uneven performance. For me, it was a combination of things. It wasn't just the layoff. It was just they're excited to play. I mean, it's you know, so you wonder if you'll be a little sloppy just because there's so much juice, you know, inside of them. And so I thought, you know, we weren't as sharp in that first quarter as we needed to be, and gave up some looks that we would have preferred not to. So it felt like we were just trying to find our rhythm defensively in that first quarter. I thought we found it in the second quarter. I didn't think we found our rhythm offensively till the fourth in terms of how we're capable of playing. Now, it certainly helped. We made threes in the second half. I think we had 1 in the first half. We made 10 in the second half. But our rhythm was so much better offensively in the fourth. I thought we were rushed the first 3 quarters, and we just had a poise and a calmness to us in the fourth, and then we were able to see, you know, when you have poise and calmness, now you can see where the defense is, and I thought we were sharing the ball better because we were actually seeing it, whereas in the first 3 quarters we were just scattered. So that's more of what the concern is yeah, you're hoping the layoff there's not too much rust, but you're also hoping they're not so amped, you know, that they can still play with poise.
More questions from the room? Front row.
Yeah, Mitch Northam, SB Nation. You talked yesterday about sort of how, you know, the team had to have a little bit of fear, the possibility that something like that could happen, an upset. And it's just seemed like they were incredibly locked into the scouting report. Was like that, I guess, instilling that in them, was that part of how locked in they were today to executing on the defensive end?
I think that's something they've grown in through the course of the season, their ability to apply the report to the game. You know, it's not, we talk a lot about, it's not enough just to know it. You know, it's not enough to know someone's a shooter. Can you take away the shots? It's not enough to know the play call and the action. Can you, within the action, make the right play and be in the right spot? So this group has grown through the course of the season to improve in that, which has been helpful. And so I think that's definitely, I don't want to say it's a strength of ours, but it's something that we're much better in March than we were earlier in the year. Having an understanding of what teams are trying to do and how they're trying to pick our defense apart, and then being able to adjust. We have a lot of really highly intelligent players, and I think that helps us. Obviously, we have some athleticism and we have depth and we have all those things, but really it's their brains that allow you to play the way we play. Everyone assumes because it's frenetic and because it's, can be oppressive, that it's all about athleticism. And it's really all about intelligence. To apply pressure over a period of time and to be disciplined enough to play means that you have to have a highly intelligent group before you have a highly athletic group. Now, when you combine those two, you get some really good results.
Other questions from in the room, Shelby? And then we'll go here next.
Coach, there's one moment, we kind of asked the players about it earlier, but I think it was second quarter. You'll have to help me remember which player it was that drew the charge, but you were fired up. What were you thinking in that moment? And I guess what was it about that specific play that had you so fired up and with such a big smile on the sidelines?
How many wonders of the world are there? 7? I felt like I saw the 8th wonder of the world. Alucci took a charge. I'd never seen that before in my life. And so I was excited, when some of them do things I've never seen them do before. It was exhilarating. So that's why I was so excited, because I don't think has done that this year. It's definitely a career high in charges for her with 1.
Second row.
Marissa Sesker, Hoop Stats. Coach, you obviously play 7 players 20-ish minutes. In March, sometimes benches get shorter, but today you were able to kind of go all the way down the bench. Was it kind of nice to see contributions from absolutely everyone on such a big stage?
Yeah, I have a 10-player rotation. Obviously, I don't play 10 every game, but I'm fully confident in all 10 of them. I've played them all in big spots this year. If you look back over our games, went deeper into the bench early because we had a little bit of foul trouble. So, Donovan didn't really get into the game much because she was in foul trouble. Thomas picked up 1, and Toby picks up 2 in the first half. So it was really more forced by that than anything else. Woody played more minutes than anybody, but I think that was more dictated by Donovan being kind of in foul trouble. But they've all played critical parts for us. Our bench has played a critical role. Obviously, the standouts from a scoring perspective are Toby and Alucci. But if you look at our games, everyone's made big plays. You go to the first half of our game against Notre Dame in the semis of the ACC tournament. DeJesus changed that game with 7 points. You look at the championship game against NC State, and Woody came in critical moments and made plays for us. So, that's what you need. You need to have players that are ready to come in and make plays, because you just don't know how the game's going to go. I'm fully confident in all the players in our rotation, and just as the game goes along, I don't come in with a preconceived set. Yeah, I just kind of go and see how people are going, and then obviously fouls can come into play to change the rotation.
May have time for maybe 2 more second row. Or sorry, somebody here? Anybody?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, okay. I thought saw a hand. Go ahead.
Coach, in a survive and advance scenario, what's been the best way for you and the coaching staff to kind of keep your girls, ladies, calm, poised, and collective, not looking down the line, focusing on that team at hand, knowing that, at any time you can go home, but just focusing on that team, calm, poised, and collective?
I think we've emphasized that all year, even though there's not the elimination factor all year, but we've emphasized putting your entire focus on the team that you're playing that night. And that's it. That's all that matters. And not worrying about what possibly could be down the road. That's super hard to do in March, because the brackets come out and everybody's picking these matchups and saying, well, I can't wait for this matchup 3 rounds later. And then that matchup never happens, because guess what? One or both of those teams don't get there. So our job is to get there. That's our job. That's Oregon's job. It's both of our jobs to get to the Sweet 16. And so we talked about that. And I think the thing that helps me more than anything is that the tournament's going on nonstop, and you see it happening on the women's side and the men's side. You see games that you thought there was going to be a different winner, and guess what? There's not. You can't take anything for granted. And every team, certainly every team that's left now, we just made a big cut. I'm proud of them. We went from 64 to 32, right? We're one of 32 teams remaining. Everybody's good, and everybody will kick your butt if you don't play well. So our job is to play well, not to worry about as much who we're playing, not to worry about who we could play down the road. If we don't play well, we're not even going to get down the road. We're going to be stuck on the side of the road, hitchhiking. That's what happens when you lose in March. So we got to focus on that, and they've done a good job of it. Our whole focus, 100%, is on Oregon, and if we don't play well, they'll beat us. They're really, really good. So we have to play well. And like I said yesterday, that's how it's supposed to be. You shouldn't get to advance if you play crappy. Like, in what world is that fun? You should have to, like, play well to win. And so we got to play well to win in March. And that's how it should be. And we're both playing for a lot on the line. We're playing for a chance to get to the second weekend. And I think it's going to be a great game. And, hopefully we bring our best.
Coach, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Congratulations.